The Bambu Lab A1 combo. This is my second Bambu Lab printer, the first being the A1 Mini. Definitely recommend checking out that video, as a lot of the features and overall concept of it can be shared with its bigger brother, this one. So with that, let's get straight into the video. Okay, so let's start with why I even got the A1 in the first place. And this really comes down to the XL's reliability being so-so at best. And by that, I just mean the first layer has been causing problems, the tool heads have also been causing problems, and as a result, when my sister tries to go and find out the problem with the XL, oftentimes it leads to it just not being used and she's not really sure how to figure it out. But we really need it to be printing because we have these multicolor prints, and without them, then they get delayed and that's a real problem. So I ended up going in and planning on the Bambu Lab being a backup. At least that was the hope. It would be a backup so that it's not wasting lots of filament, because yeah, the AMS editions do waste a lot of filament, and ultimately that's why I got the A1. So when I got this printer, I actually wasn't here to set it up, which is why there was never a live stream or anything, but I was really banking on the fact that it would be as easy to assemble as the A1 Mini, which you could see that live stream here. And luckily, that happened to be the case. My sister got it together, put it together, and from what I heard, it wasn't very hard. It was very similar to the A1 Mini, so that was a plus, and already we were starting off on the right foot. Since then, she's been the primary one using it and hasn't really had any issues. There was one issue where some of the filament broke off in the PTFE tube from the AMS, but really that wasn't the printer's fault. It was just the fact that the filament was 2 years old, or I'm guessing it was about that, and as a result just kind of snaps if anything happened to it. So aside from that being a bit of a pain to remove, the printer's been great and there really hasn't been any other problems, aside from a small slicing glitch if you've accidentally put in the wrong color. But that's kind of a given. And user error. Right now the printer has had a decent amount of use. I'll put a screenshot on how many hours it's had. And the A1 Mini as well has also had no problems. Neither one of these printers have had problems, which is good, and is proving that the reliability of the Bambu Lab is actually there. So in all, the A1 has definitely been a worthwhile purchase. It's been all that I hoped, though it does come with one downside, and that's the fact that my sister has been liking using this printer so much that even when the XL or Prusa Mini or any of the other printers are available, she just prefers to only print on this one unless she has to move to the other ones, as this one doesn't have errors. You don't have to worry about the PTFE tube like in the Prusa Mini because it's direct drive, and like the Prusa XL, unlike the Prusa XL, it always has a perfect layer. So yeah, that is exactly what the Prusa XL advertised, but just doesn't quite have. So I guess the lighting just changed. So in terms of the XL, I know I may be hampering it on it a little bit, and part of that might just because I was one of the very first users, in which case I guess kind of an excuse. Either way, it doesn't really make me want to purchase any other Prusa machines, at least not with the experience I've been getting with both the A1 and A1 Mini. It's just been that good. Again, like I mentioned in that A1 Mini video, really the only complaint I have with these printers has to do with the company themselves, and that's because I could see their RFID tags that detect filament potentially being locked down and requiring them to use only their filament, which would really suck, or potentially locking down into only using Bambu Studio and their own softwares, which would also kind of bite. But those things aside, the printers are amazing, so if I'm just looking for the best printer at the best price, that's when I go with Bambu. I really do like the fact that Prusa is open source and seems to be more transparent, and if those things matter the most, that's honestly when I'd go to Prusa. Is it worth the price tag? In my opinion, no, but that's up to you. Creality, in my experience, hasn't been amazing, but the last one I tried was the Ender 5, which I still have. It works, it just, Granted, they do have newer machines, and those are bound to be way ahead. Okay, so now like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, let's talk about the AMS or combo part of the A1. And this is probably the most so-so part of this printer, as I'm still not the biggest fan. it works. It actually, like print quality wise, it works really well. It's better than the XL, which is kind of crazy given the fact that that's like the main thing the XL is primarily used for. I guess you could use higher temperature materials, and also the fact that it's a massive build plate. But still, the fact that just in terms of quality, the A1 AMS edition can have better results is crazy. The biggest downside, and the reason I say it's so-so, is the reason I've been hesitating to get the combo part for so long in the first place. And that really comes down to this thing right here, aka the big purge blocks that you just see, or big purge blocks. It wastes quite a lot of filament, and on one of these recent container prints, you can see how this part is a multicolor piece as it's just connected. In retrospect, I honestly probably should have used like a slide-in piece that just slides into the container, so then it's printed separately and doesn't waste so much filament. But I've been so used to the XL with it not really wasting filament, and I figured it would be a good test. But yeah, it really does waste so much filament that I can't say it's a win just because of that. In terms of usability, it's also not entirely the best. It connects to these 4 tubes up here, and you just plug them in. It's pretty easy, and then it will detect all 4 of them. The thing is that in my situation, it takes up so much more space that you still have to kind of move it a little bit to put the filament actually into it, just because of space requirements. If you have like unlimited space and that's not really an issue, then usability is perfectly fine, as it's really easy to just swap the filament in and out. But if it's cramped, it's gonna be a little bit harder. Also, one final thing I should mention with the A1 combo or AMS part is the fact that slicing is pretty smooth. If you've ever done a multi-color print in Prusa Slicer or any other software, it translates very easily. You just connect the pieces and assign what color, and you're good to go. The primary thing to look out for is just come watch the print. Make sure that you actually have the colors assigned correctly. If you do have Bambu Lab's proprietary filament, those RFID tags, it's going to be easier because Bambu Lab would detect the colors and display them on the display. But if you don't, that's when you kind of got to double check. Overall, I'm still happy that I got the A1 combo, especially because my primary goal was using it as a backup. Whether it's actually used as a backup or not, we'll see, just because my sister prefers using the A1 so much more anyways. So wasted filament, yeah, is a big downside, but nothing I can really do about that in the meantime. In terms of just the A1, it really is just a larger A1 Mini. It has pretty much the same features. You could even get the AMS combo, though I probably would have a bigger build plate if you're doing the combo, because then at least you could fill it up more and waste a little less filament. But again, that's up to you. I'm definitely happy I got the printer, and I'm gonna probably be getting more Bambu Labs sometime. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, definitely let me know in the comments, or if you have any feedback for what I can do to improve these videos, also let me know. Thanks again for watching, and see ya. Woo!